Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me on my weekly guitar blog. It's September 23rd, 2012. And this time around, we're going to be talking about how to start a guitar solo. Now, this all came to light through an email that was sent to me from Ian. He is in Charleston, South Carolina. And he wrote in saying, "What should I know when it comes down to starting a guitar solo? My old guitar teacher said that to start a solo, I should begin on the key's 5th scale degree. This seemed kind of limiting, and I really somehow find it hard to believe that everyone starts their guitar solos on the scale's 5th. So Andrew, how should I start a solo?" From Ian in Charleston, South Carolina. Well, thanks for writing in, Ian. Solos can actually begin on pretty much any note of the scale. So saying that solos have to begin on the 5th scale degree is certainly not really the case. You can often have the most connected sound by beginning upon a chord tone, such as the root or the 3rd or the 5th of the chord that's underlying of the moment. But even just playing a run, doing a bend, or throwing out a cool, repetitive lick from practically any scale degree can work just fine to start your guitar solos. Now, to explain this idea further, I'm going to suggest looking at this area of starting solos from an entirely different perspective, one that's more focused upon how to start your solo technically, with what type of technique basically, rather than which note of the scale is the best note to start the solo on. So let's zoom in on the guitar neck and have a look at some of the examples I've put together for this topic. In example number 1, I've got one of my favorite ways to begin a solo, and that's by applying an arpeggio idea. The ending is also a tried and true favorite of mine as well, with the application of a few nice smooth bends. Now, also in this first example, I've resolved the line into the root of the underlying chord, which happens to be A minor. So here's what example number 1 sounds like. Okay, in example number 2, I put together another one of my favorite techniques to start a solo, and that's with using a pedal point lick. And these licks function similar to repetitive licks in that they tend to really grab the listener's attention. Also, the lick ends on a 7th degree tone of the underlying A minor chord, which happens to be a G in this case. So it kind of gives you that A minor 7 effect. Now keep in mind that resolution to 7th chord tones while soloing under a triad harmony is a very cool sound to incorporate into your guitar playing. So here's example number 2. All right, in example number 3, I've got yet another one of my favorite ways to begin a solo that offers up a great jazzy, bluesy sound to licks and runs. It's the idea of playing chromatically, so we hear a group of several pitches moving around the primary tones of the scale, eventually wrapping up upon a scale tone to help the listener reconnect with the scale and the overall harmony once again. And in this lick, I've ended this time on a C note, which relates directly to the minor 3rd degree of our underlying A minor chord. So here's how example number 3 sounds applying the chromatic approach. Now, scales themselves are composed of all the tones that operate within the key center of the piece. So if a note you play over a chord isn't the root 3rd or 5th, it's a further extension like a 7th, 9th, 11th, or 13th. And any one of those tones can work well to begin a melodic statement from. When you take a step back and analyze the big picture of all this, there's more to gain from thinking technically, or how you begin your guitar solo, whether that's a bend, a sequence run, a pedal point lick, a rake, a sweep pick concept, or a legato part off of any note, combined with which notes you finally end your melodic idea on. It's almost more important to know what you end on rather than what you begin on. This stuff is more often than not more important than, of course, the note that you actually will begin your guitar solo on. Anyway, once again, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, I hope these ideas help you. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.